The CEO pushed the single dad to the edge, until she reached for him and everything changed. The eviction notice was still warm in Marcus Hale's hand when his 7-year-old daughter Lily wrapped her small fingers around his wrist and asked him if they were going to be okay. He looked down at her, her dark eyes wide and trusting, her hair still messy from sleep, and he lied. He smiled and said, "Yes, baby, we're going to be fine." But standing on the cracked pavement outside the only home Lily had ever known, with 30 days to vacate and $11 in his bank account, Marcus Hale was not fine. He was a man standing at the very edge of everything, with nothing left to hold on to but a little girl who believed in him more than he deserved. If you believe in kindness and second chances, that the world can surprise you when you least expect it, please take a moment to like this video, drop a comment below, share it with someone who needs to hear it today, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. We tell stories that remind us what it means to be human. Marcus had been a warehouse supervisor at Hale Logistics, no relation, a cruel joke the universe had always enjoyed at his expense, for 6 years. He was good at his job, reliable, the kind of man his crew trusted when things went wrong at 2 in the morning and a shipment couldn't wait. He had built a quiet, honest life after his wife Elena left 3 years ago, leaving him alone with Lily and a mortgage that was always just barely manageable. He worked double shifts. He packed Lily's lunches the night before. He learned to braid hair by watching videos on his phone at midnight. He was not a perfect man, but he was a devoted father, and for a long time, that felt like enough. Then the new CEO arrived. Her name was Vanessa Caldwell, and from the moment she stepped into the warehouse in her steel gray blazer and her sharp, unreadable expression, everything changed. She was brilliant, that much was undeniable. She had turned around 3 failing companies before the age of 40, and the board had brought her in to cut costs, restructure, and make Hale Logistics profitable again within a year. She was precise, demanding, and entirely unsentimental. She did not believe in exceptions. She believed in results. The first round of cuts came in October. 12 people lost their jobs, and Marcus survived. The second round came in January. He survived again, barely. But it was a Thursday in March that broke him. He had arrived 20 minutes late, Lily had a fever and he had to wait for his neighbor Mrs. Petrov to come over and sit with her, and Vanessa Caldwell was standing in the middle of the floor when he walked in, clipboard in hand, watching the clock on the wall like it had personally offended her. She said nothing to him in the moment. But the write-up came by end of day, formal and cold, and the words, "pattern of unreliability," appeared in black ink next to his name, a phrase so absurd it nearly knocked the breath from him. He had never been unreliable. He had given this company 6 years of his life. 2 weeks later, he was let go. No severance, no warning beyond the write-up. Just a manila envelope with his final check and a handshake from HR that lasted exactly 2 seconds. He sat in his truck in the parking lot for 40 minutes before he could drive. He thought about Lily's face when she woke up from her fever and called for him. He thought about the mortgage. He thought about the refrigerator that had been running low for 3 days because he had been waiting for payday. He drove home and he did not cry until Lily was asleep, and then he sat on the kitchen floor and let himself fall apart in the dark and in the quiet, the way fathers do when no one is watching. The weeks that followed were a kind of slow erosion. He applied for jobs every morning and rejection after rejection stacked up in his inbox like a wall being built around him. He sold the television. He sold his guitar, which had belonged to his own father and which he had always planned to teach Lily to play someday. He moved their small savings into the checking account and watched it drain. He smiled through every dinner with Lily, cutting the food into careful portions, telling her they were having an adventure, that simple meals were what explorers ate. She believed him, the way children believe their parents even when the truth is written all over a tired face. The eviction notice arrived on a Tuesday morning in April. 30 days. It was Mrs. Petrov, 73 years old, arthritic, and possessed of an absolutely unshakable belief in the power of showing up, who told him about the community center job fair. He almost didn't go. He had been rejected so many times that hope had started to feel like something that happened to other people. But he put on his last good shirt and he went, and he stood in line, and he filled out 3 applications, and then he walked back to his truck in the rain feeling invisible. She was there. Standing beside a silver car in the parking lot, talking on her phone, her blazer dark with rain she hadn't noticed yet because she was too deep in whatever conversation she was having. He almost walked past her. He almost said nothing. But something made him stop, maybe exhaustion, maybe the 30-day notice folded in his jacket pocket, maybe just the raw and honest fury of a man who had nothing left to lose. He spoke to her without planning to. He said her name. He told her who he was. And then he said all the things that had been building inside him for months, quietly, without rage, without begging. He told her what the write-up had done to his chances of being hired anywhere. He told her about Lily. He told her about the guitar. He told her about the kitchen floor in the dark. He did not ask for his job back. He did not ask for anything. He simply told the truth to the woman who had signed the paper that unraveled his life, because it was the only thing he had left that was entirely his own. Vanessa Caldwell stood in the rain and she listened. And somewhere in the middle of it, he couldn't say exactly when, something in her face changed. Not softened exactly. More like cracked open, the way a window cracks before it finally lets in light. She had lost her own father young. She had raised herself on discipline and distance because tenderness had always felt like something she couldn't afford. She had restructured 4 companies and never once thought about the man on the kitchen floor. She thought about it now. She didn't offer him his job back that night. What she did was reach into her bag and hand him her personal card, and she looked at him, really looked at him, and she said she wanted to make something right. He didn't know what to do with that. He drove home in the rain and he sat with Lily while she slept and he held the card in his hand like it might disappear. It didn't disappear. She called the next morning. Over the weeks that followed, Vanessa worked her connections, made calls she didn't have to make, and helped him land a logistics coordinator role at a partner firm, better hours, better pay, the kind of stability he had been bleeding toward for a year. She also quietly reversed the language in his record, replacing pattern of unreliability with a proper reference. She did not announce any of it. She simply did it. Marcus moved into a small rental 2 streets over from Lily's school with 4 days left on the eviction notice. On the first night in the new place, Lily sat on the bare floor and ate takeout from a paper bag and said it felt like a real adventure now, Daddy, doesn't it? And he said yes, sweetheart. It really does. Asterisk if this story touched something in you, if it reminded you that one person's choice to reach out can change everything, please give this video a thumbs up, share it with someone you love, and let us know in the comments, what would you have done in Marcus's place? Your voice matters more than you know, asterisk. Asterisk before you go, drop a single word in the comments that describes how this story made you feel. Just one word. We read every single one, asterisk. Some people come into our lives like storms, turning everything upside down. And some of those same people, if we're lucky, come back like rain on dry ground, not to erase the damage, but to help something new grow where the hardest things once stood.